My name is Jules Allan and I'm a visual artist. I'm originally from Glasgow, but I grew up in London. I studied fine art at the University of Brighton, graduating in the early 1990s. Following this, I did an MA in art psychotherapy and I've practiced as an art psychotherapist in the NHS and prison service for over 20 years. As a single parent for many years with a full-time job, I had little time to paint and my kitchen table was my studio. I now have the time and the opportunity to paint seriously again, and I spend as much time as I can in my studio in Brighton. The question of whether or not my art is informed by my background, I think is such an interesting one, which really made me think. I wouldn't say that my work is directly informed by my background. It definitely isn't connected to a specific experience of a place or really to the external world at all. However, I did have some difficult experiences in my early life, a lot of which, particularly as an adolescent, I expressed through quite a troubled relationship with my body. And painting became for me another way of managing feelings that I didn't know how else to process. And I turned my bedroom into a studio in my teenage years, literally covering the walls in paint. Now, as an art therapist, I spend my time helping people in distress to use art as a way of giving form to what is then formulated in their mind, expressing things that may feel impossible to put into words. There are so many artists who I love and who have really influenced my development as a painter. My first real influences were the American abstract expressionists of the 1950s, who I discovered after finding a book in my secondary school library. Later at art college, I became really fascinated by the feminist body art movement of the 1960s, and this was the theme of my dissertation. However, I've probably been most influenced by the New York artist Eva Hesse. I was really drawn to both the sort of real visceral physicality of her painting and sculptures, as well as the way she used her own body to allow the viewer to engage with the work physically and not merely through the mind, in the form of a sort of a bodily empathy. So what am I focusing on right now? So I've just finished a new body of work, which I'm quite excited about and which I really would like to show in its entirety. So I'm currently following up some leads for a show in London. The biggest challenge of being an artist for me is just really to have as much time in the studio as I would like. There just never seems to be enough time to paint for me. I also really have to challenge myself to engage with social media and the need that we all have as artists right now to promote ourselves in the digital world. As far as what advice I would give to my younger self, I'm really not sure as a younger artist I would have heeded any advice, but I would say to myself, just trust yourself, trust your work, trust the process of painting, break rules, take risks, and really just try not to get caught up with worrying about how your work will be received or seen by others. So playing and experimenting with different materials and techniques is key to my practice. I love to push the boundaries of painting, and I often use materials that are more often found in hardware stores, such as cement, tar, rope and household paint, as well as more traditional oil on canvas. Through using new and different materials, I hope to bring an intense physicality to my work, which evokes the fragility of the human body and psyche. So do I listen to music or have any other type of background noise while I work? This really depends. I often need total silence, particularly during the many hours that I just spend sitting, looking and listening to my work. I have to sort of feel the painting in my body and would be distracted by music or definitely by podcasts at this time. At other times when I'm sort of deep in the process of painting, I listen to quite an eclectic mix of music, and sometimes if one track seems to really connect with the emotion in a painting, I can listen to it over and over again. I think the best reaction that somebody's had to my work is that it's moved them in some way and they don't necessarily know why. It just resonates with them. I remember once selling a painting to a woman who'd seen it in an exhibition a couple of weeks previously, and said that she just couldn't forget about it, and so she caught a train back down from London to Brighton to buy it. What do you hope people take away from your artwork? It's so hard to ever know how someone will respond to my work. I think it's just something that you can't really control. I don't require anyone to like my paintings, but what I think I really hope is that a viewer will just give it time and be open and present with the painting, experiencing any feelings that it evokes in them.